You're in Brisbane, are you? Where are you?
Yeah, Brisbane.
In Brizzy.
Yeah,
How'd you get?
where am I in
How'd you?
Brisbane?
Yeah, you're in Brisbane now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you get onto me?
I came on to you
How did you get onto me?
fairly recently, Saturday, through a random YouTube comment, funny enough. Yeah, because I was just going through some self-inquiries, and then
Yeah,
someone came across you, and they mentioned one of your inquiries, forgot what it was. And
yeah,
it's like, no, I like that. And then came across you on Saturday, and then the way you talk about things is funny enough the way I happen to think in terms of
good.
just yeah,
Yeah, logic straight.
yeah,
Just
yeah. Like none of the extra, unnecessary shit, just straight to the point. Yeah.
so. How long have you had an interest in non-duality?
Uh so I'd actually argue that since I was a kid, there's always been an interest
Oh,
in
that's interesting. Yeah,
not literally non-duality, but
sure.
there's always been something lingering saying, what is this?
Yeah,
That I just pushed it aside, live my life or whatever.
yeah,
But I didn't actually come across it until not fairly recent, about 2 months ago.
yeah.
And then once I first heard about it, it just, it's like
Resonated.
a, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how
And
that's how it
it's
was
like,
for me too.
there's just something saying, this is it, don't stop. And
That's exactly
yeah,
what happened
yeah,
to me.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly what happened to me. And that was Jesus. That was uh, way back in 1986. Same thing.
wow,
I heard it for the
yeah,
first. I heard it for the first time. I just went, yes,
yeah,
this is it. I couldn't tell you what it was, but something in me
yeah,
just went, yes, this is it. Made
yeah.
sense. Somehow it
And then
made
you have
sense.
realizations, and then you
Yeah,
try to express yourself to people, and they look at you like, "What the fuck are you on about?"
yeah. You can't. No,
Yeah,
it's really interesting because not everyone can hear this. It's
mm,
incredible. It's a
yeah,
a, um, a really really tiny percentage of people that can hear this, and
yeah,
and everyone else just can't hear it. They just go, "What the fuck?" You know.
yeah.
It's
And it's. I was thinking this today. I was saying like, if I somehow went back in time and was talking, you know, talk to myself back in time, I could tell myself back then the exact same thing, and myself back then would be like, "What are you on about?" But
yeah
if I said those exact same words to like a copy of me now, it
yeah
completely makes sense.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
get it. I get it.
yeah. Like there's no magical word. It's just,
Yeah
I guess, the way you look at the word.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah. All
yeah.
right. So what questions have you got? What are you inquiring into? Where are you
Yeah,
at?
beauty.
Yeah,
Before I start, do you mind if I give you a bit of context?
go
Just
for it. Please do. Yeah
how this started, just so you know where I'm at, like up
yeah
to
yeah
speed with it and that. Okay,
yeah.
beauty. So, say about 2 months ago, I was sitting on the couch at home, and I had no idea what non-duality was at this point. Barely knew Hinduism, Buddhism, just
Mm,
whatever.
mm.
Um, Out of nowhere, I was looking like from my view on the lounge, and I had this random, I wouldn't call it a thought. It was like an impulse to just draw what you're seeing right now. And mind you, I've never drawn in my life ever. When I
Interesting.
tried, it was complete trash. Funny enough, when I drew what I was seeing for my first proper drawing, it was a pretty good drawing. And I'm like, huh,
Where'd that come from?
like,
Yeah,
yeah, where did that come from? And then that got
yeah,
me interested. And then I got into drawing.
uh,
Now, one of the things that teachers in drawing say is when you want to draw something, don't look at the bigger picture and don't think of that thing you're referencing as a thing. Just look at the shapes, look at it for what it is.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. And I had a reference photo up of it was a landscape of some mountains. And then what I was doing was I was trying to draw two of the mountains. There was clear distance between them. And I was wondering, why can some people effectively draw that depth
Yeah.
when there is no depth there? And then I looked around me and I'm thinking, hang on, why is this picture any different to what I'm looking at right now in the present. And then and then it was a really weird thing. So I kept asking myself that, like, how can I draw that on the picture? It's clearly 3D. I can draw that exact same thing, but yet my brain says that's 2D, that's 3D.
Yes.
But with no context, there was something there that tells you, nah, that's not 2D. That's just, you can move through it, there's space. But there was something at the back of my head just saying, nah, keep on that. Look into that.
Yeah.
And then literally that, like a few hours later, I was working on that same photo. And then it became apparent. The mountain I was looking at went from out there to boom.
Yeah.
And then it caught me off guard. I'm like, it wasn't like it was literally changing. It was the filter that helps me see kind of changed.
Yeah.
And I could see it out there, and I'm like, it's out there, but this direct line between me and this mountain, gone. It's imprinted onto this.
Yeah.
And I thought, eventually I find out later that I think it's called zero distance, what I believe the term is. But anyway, a few days later, that kept on my mind. And I was just like, nah, fuck it. I want to know what that was. And then I came across non-duality, specifically Douglas Harding's Headless Way.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm getting the concepts, but it's not really clicking. And I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that, like, something was just telling me, no, do not leave this. This is, yeah. And I was stressing myself for no reason. I'm like, why aren't I getting this when I have such an urge to know it?
Yeah.
And anyway, I came across Angelo Delullo.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some self-inquiry questions. And I thought, yeah, whatever. Like self-inquiry and thinking about it, I am awareness, I am consciousness.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But then one day at work, I was it was a boring day at work. Yeah. One day at work, I was like staring at a coffee cup, and I was looking at the coffee cup, and the zero distance thing happened again. I'm like, and like, because I had like looked into non-duality things, I told myself, yep, this is zero distance. This is pretty cool. But then I started asking myself, how would someone prove to me right now that that's out there? And then, I thought, well, that someone would say, I can move over to it and I can pick up that coffee mug. Therefore, there's distance. But then I guess you could say another part of me was like, but that's not being in the present. That's just you assuming the future.
Excellent.
And then I told myself that, and I was like putting myself into an unnecessary thought loop of like, nah, that doesn't make sense, whatever. But then this is a weird thing. There was a voice. It was my voice, obviously, but it was like there was something that told me, Kirk, this present that you're talking about, have you ever left it? And it was that thought that and I'm like, whoa. And then I actually visibly, like, excuse my language again, I just said out loud, holy fucking shit, at work in my office. And then I was looking around, and this is the first time this feeling was happening to me. And I'm like, whoa. And it got so intense where the coffee mug actually started to, I wouldn't say vibrate, it was just the existing of things around me became very apparent. And my someone I work with, I went into her office next door. So like my mum, she works with me. And I went into her office and I'm like, Mum, this is like, and I tried to explain what I was experiencing, but then when I started to get the words out, I sounded like a nutcase. And then the experience went away because I was attaching meaning to it. I was trying to figure out what it was. And then poof, it went away. And like the feeling went away. And then, I'm reaching out, grasping for a few days later. I'm like, no, I want that feeling again. What was that? Was that just some random phase or whatever? And then it would happen like at random times, specifically zero distance. So the identity of Kirk was still there when that first happened, but the apparentness of everything else became very like whoa.
Yeah.
But the identity was still there.
Mm.
But with it was obviously I couldn't shake the identity. And then over time, every few weeks, I just started doing more direct self-inquiry questions into, well, who is Kirk? Who is Kirk in the present moment? And I was just overwhelming myself unnecessarily. And, why am I not getting it? This is stupid. Like, was that just a phase? And then one day recently, I was driving, funny enough. And then my mind just went quiet. And I went, okay. So when I first had some sort of realization, there was just thoughts. It just would not stop. It's like, what is this? What is this? Is this it? This is cool. The second time I really had the strong realization, there was no thoughts this time. And this lasted, I don't know, about an hour or so. But then it went away again. And then I did the same thing. I tried to, what was that? How do I explain it? And then I tried to explain it to people and, justify what I'm seeing, which leads me to where I'm at now, where it just is. There's no word for it. Well, you put a label on it, awareness, but eventually I even dropped that label of awareness. And it's like, So then and I watched out for it for like the next few times it was happening. And I told myself, next time it happens, don't think about it. And it just lasted longer and longer and longer. And I just went, And it was just nothing. It was like existing. Like I know that there is something here, but there's no point justifying it. There's no point talking about it with yourself right now. Just be it. And then I just noticed that my mind went really quiet, and it was like, It was a very surreal moment, to say the least. Yeah. Which I guess you could say leads me into my my first question.
Right.
Which would be, actually before that, like right now I can say that like confidently I can say that I can sit in this. I can't get myself, well, not get myself there because I'm already, like, we're all already there, but kind of just not worry about it so much. And then it just happens. One thing that I've actually noticed that I can't help but do, we talk about doing some self-inquiry to get to that state of no self. Is there any way to actually go deeper once you are in that no selfness? Can you it's just trying to find the words.
Okay,
can you do some
right.
self-inquiry? Can you do some self-inquiry in that state without thinking about it
Without mind?
Without mind.
It's a really, really, really good question. Really fucking great question.
It kind of pulls me out of it,
I understand.
And
I understand.
Yeah.
Even a moment ago when you said, it went quiet for an hour or so. I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me.
Yeah.
It went quiet for an hour or so, and then it went away. It never goes away, but what happened? Thoughts just came back online again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. So it doesn't go away. It never goes away, right? Thoughts just come back online, and guess what thoughts say? Oh, it went away.
Yeah, and justifying it, and
And thoughts just say that, but it never goes away. It's always here. It's never not been here, And the only thing that seems to get in the way of it is thoughts. So it's like we could say, that there's awareness. We could say that there's attention. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the primary thing, in fact, the only thing that fuels thoughts is attention on thoughts. That's the only thing that fuels them. Yeah. Now, what you're inquiring into is the no thought inquiry, the silent inquiry. Yeah. Now, I can only give you.
It's hard to talk about.
Yeah, man. Like I can only give you dualistic instructions.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to kind of accept the dualistic instructions or the pointers. Yeah. And then go to that the instructions are pointing to. Right? So
like put it at the back somewhere and just reference it. Yeah.
Just it's okay. Okay. So that fuels thoughts is attention. Okay. So what I sometimes say to people, and here comes the dualistic instruction.
Yeah.
So forgive me, but there's no other way. So, let's do it like this. Okay. This. That's my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
For that to exist, and this is a really basic form of inquiry, okay? It's not highfalutin spiritual, right? But for that to exist, what is it dependent upon? For that to be, it's dependent on one thing. And if you remove that thing, this couldn't be. It couldn't be. What is it dependent on? To exist, to be. And if you took it away, it couldn't exist. There's one thing, understand it's the pointer, okay? So there's one thing that this is dependent upon to be. And if we remove that one thing, this couldn't be. What would that be?
Well, so I'm looking at that, like I'm looking directly at the phone now. The first thing that came to thought without thought is this.
It would still be without thought, but you wouldn't know what it was without thought.
Yeah, it just is.
Good. All right. Yeah. Okay. So for this to exist, what is it dependent upon? And understand, I'm not talking about consciousness or awareness or very, very basic, very, very basic. If we removed that this is dependent upon to be, to be, to have volume, to have shape, to have density. If we removed it, this couldn't exist.
Yeah.
What would it be?
In this moment, the only it's.
Don't go too deep.
I'm going to talk dualistically. I'm going to say me, because outside of me, I can't. There is.
Yeah, you've gone too deep.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. There's four parts to this inquiry phase that I'm taking you through. This is the first part. Yeah. Okay. So for this to exist, what does it need? Apart from you, apart from consciousness, apart from just awareness.
Matter?
Close, but no cigar. But you're on the right track. For this to exist, for it to be able to have volume, shape, form, is dependent upon something to exist. And it's not matter.
Not light or just...
No, but you're on the right track, but no. And then when you get it, you'll go, yeah, fuck, of course, right? You will. Yeah. But I want you to find it.
Yeah. Like not subjectively from it's okay.
Objectively. There it is.
Yeah.
We're not talking non-duality right now, right? Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's dependent upon something to be, to have shape, form, volume. That's the tip. Volume. For it to exist.
Like mass.
No.
Matter.
No.
Oh no.
No. It's okay. It's okay. If we took it away, it couldn't be. It couldn't be.
Yeah. Like not an observer? That's too...
No.
No, you got me there. Now I'm thinking in circles now. Coming back to matter. Right. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You tell me when you want me to tell you. Just there's something that this is dependent upon. It's something that this is dependent upon to actually be.
I see. I think I'm thinking too deep before. I was going to say like awareness. It's kind of like a drawing on a piece of paper. If you take away the drawing, piece of paper.
I understand. You're not wrong in what you're. Let me clarify. You're not wrong in what you're saying, but I'm pointing to something else at this stage.
More simple. Yeah.
Much more simple. As simple as you could get.
You got me here. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking overthinking.
That's all right.
This one.
Okay. That's all right. So the answer is space.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you get. Like as soon as I said, you go, yeah, fuck, of course, right? Okay.
Like but the space we miss between it. Matter, or
but we miss it. Just the fact that this can exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we remove space, could it exist?
No.
Good. But no more complicated than that. Okay. So just track with me on that. Yeah. So we can both agree that this, I mean, just using this as an example, use a tree if you want, but we both agree that this is dependent upon space to exist. Agreed? Yeah, just on a basic, Okay, good. Now, next question. What is space dependent upon to exist?
Matter. For there to be...
No.
Are you talking like space between things?
Space.
Or
there is no space between. Everything is space.
Yeah, like dualistically, space. Yeah. I got you there. Yeah.
A physicist will tell you that's not solid. It appears to be solid, but it's actually space. Just appears to be solid, right?
Yeah.
So then we go to, okay, so this is dependent on space. What is space dependent? Now we go much deeper. That if we removed it, there would be no space. This is understand, Kirk, this is a dualistic pointer, and you're going to have to forgive me, but there's a reason there's a reason I'm taking you through this. When we get to the end, you'll know why. Yeah. So you just got to bear with me.
Yeah.
So we agree that the item is dependent upon space, right?
Yep.
Obvious. If you remove the space, if you removed all space, right? All space, then there'd be nowhere for any item to be contained within. Do you understand?
Okay.
Right? So if we remove space, that can't exist. Good.
Yeah.
So we go, that is dependent upon space.
Yep.
What is space dependent upon?
So the only thing I'm thinking of is, I'm also thinking dualistically now too, is...
Okay. Let's just see. Let's just see where we go.
I keep saying, like, something keeps telling me, like, matter, like, you can't have...
Can you? Is that true? You can't have space without matter? Is that true? If we create a vacuum,
Yeah.
And a vacuum means there's nothing in it, no particles, nothing. Yeah. There's still space. There would still be space.
Yeah, still space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just nothingness.